Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Reacts. Today, we're reacting something that's not actually scary. I do have more interests than just horror things, like outer space. So today we are reacting to the Kardashev scale. How far can our civilization go? By Insane Curiosity. Now, if you also like space and all that, be sure to stick around and also check out this guy's channel. Hit the like and all that. I'm definitely excited to see about this because there are three things I'm obsessed with right now. First one, horror, genuine good horror. Second one, cyberpunk, anything cyberpunk related, aesthetics, all that. Fucking love that shit. And number three, space, outer space. Honestly, I want to try to get some rebranding done. I've got a photo somewhere. Yeah, I want to get rebranding done. Make me a little cyberpunk spaceman. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, before we jump into this reaction, I'm just gonna say this. If you like and enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know down in the comments what you think, any feedback, anything you think I would enjoy reacting to. Just let me know. I do read almost every single comment. With that, let's hop into this. The Kardashev scale. How far can our civilization go?
We have come to a point where we can assume how civilizations are going to be in the future. Join me as I explain the Kardashev scale.
I think I've heard a little bit about this before. Like tiers on how far
The
society can go. I think
Kardashev
we're on
scale
like one
ranks
or
the
two or something.
technological capabilities of a civilization. According to the energy it is able to manipulate and exploit. The scale was invented in 1964 by the Russian astronomer Nikolai Semenkovich Kardashev, who was looking for signs of extraterrestrial life within cosmic signals, and proposed a scale for ranking these hypothetical civilizations based on their energy consumption. So the Kardashev scale was developed as a way of measuring a civilization's technological advancement based upon how much usable energy it has at its disposal. The scale has three types that follow the scale
Fair.
of
That's fair.
astrophysical structures in our local universe. The basic calibration is based on three energy positions on the scale corresponding to the ability to fully manage the energy resources of an inhabited planet. Type 1, the star of the respective solar system. Type 2, and its galaxy. Type 3. Other astronomers have
Yeah, so we're
expanded the
still
scale
on
to
type
Type 4
1.
and Type 5. Samples of civilizations that could correspond to the
We're
Kardashev
still
scale
type
are
1. We're
both
not that
terrestrial
advanced.
and other supposedly extraterrestrial civilizations. Due to the fact that the American astronomer and astrophysicist Carl Sagan wanted to classify our current civilization, he noticed that we are not Type 1 yet,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
explained and calibrated the scale before Type 1. The reason why human race is not even on Type 1 yet is because we continue to maintain our energy needs from dead plants and animals here on Earth. We are just a humble culture, Type 0, and we still have a very long distance to go before promoted to a Type 1 civilization. According to Carl Sagan, in 1900, during the Industrial Revolution period, our terrestrial civilization was at 0.58, while in 2012 it was at 0.72 on the scale. Freeman Dyson estimated that we will probably reach Type 1 in 100 to 200 years, Type 2 in the year 11,200, and Type 3 in 100,000 to 1 million years. Before we continue with our
That's
explanation
a long
of the
time.
Kardashev scale, be sure to like or dislike the video so that we can continue to improve and make these videos better for you, the viewer. Plus, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of our weekly videos. Now let's examine on a closer look some features of the four energy
Yeah,
positions.
no, that's a long time.
What does each of these categories really mean in literal terms? Type 0. A Type 0 civilization is based on energy which can derive mainly from sources where energy forms are mildly stored and are found before the specific type 1, 2, 3. Our culture today belongs to Type 0, which uses sources such as coal, oil, or natural gas. As we mentioned before, it is understood that we have not reached Type 1 in the Kardashev scale yet. Type 1.
It's fair.
A Type 1 civilization has complete control over the energy of its host planet. As a Type 1 civilization, we would be capable of controlling Earth entirely. So this civilization has managed to tame and consume the energy offered to it by its own planet, which it fully controls. It would, for example, be capable of collecting all the starlight that falls on the planet. However, the ability to harness all of the
So
Earth's
like
energy
solar
would also
energy,
mean that we could
wind
have
energy,
control of all
geothermal
natural
energy.
forces. The temperature, the climate of the planet could be controlled in the same way that we could control volcanoes, weather conditions, and even earthquakes. It is possible that weather or even earthquakes can be changed at will by this civilization. So we could influence the nature. At least that's the basic idea.
Have full
These
control of
things
the
are hard to
planet like
believe,
that,
but
that would...
compared to the advances that can be made in the coming years, imagine that these are just basic and primitive levels of control. Type 2. The next step, a Type 2 civilization. This is the next stage in the
where we
evolution of
control
a
the sun,
civilization.
right?
At this level, the inhabitants who make up such a civilization can harness the power of their mother's star, their sun, not only by turning the light of the star into energy, but by controlling the star itself. It would control the orbit of all planets in that system, harvest asteroids and comets at its leisure, and basically consume the entire solar system. For example, if humans survived long enough to reach this level, and an object the size of the moon entered our solar system with a collision course with our little blue planet, we would have the ability to wipe it out from the ground. Or if we had time, we could move our planet, avoiding it altogether. But let's just say we didn't want to move the Earth. Are there any other options? Well, yes, because we'd be able to move the planet, Jupiter, or another planet of our choice on its way. Isn't that amazing?
That would be
So we go from
interesting.
controlling a planet to controlling a star, which will lead us to gather enough expendable energy to make our civilization virtually immune to extinction. It is important to mention that the energy it consumes is 10 billion times more than the energy produced by a civilization Type 1. Type 3. But now, in addition to Type 3 culture, a species is now becoming an intergalactic traveler with great knowledge of all those who have to
I wanna
do
live
with
during that
energy,
time.
and that will result in the domination of its species, making it a dominant race. A Type 3 civilization would span the entire galaxy, colonizing and controlling numerous systems. From a human point of view, hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, both biological and technological, can lead the inhabitants of this Type 3 culture to be incredibly different from the human race as we know it. A Type 3 civilization controls energy at a galactic level in its entire galaxy, and may have decimated one or more neighboring galaxies. Such a civilization has reached a level of energy experimentation even with black holes. He can travel in the space and time within the same place, and has the ability to escape in the past in case the heat of death is caused in his life. Similarly, the energy it consumes is 10 billion times more than the energy that is produced by a Type 2 civilization. Type 4. Type 4 is
Type
a
4.
scale extension.
This
civilization would be
I'm just trying to keep up
supergalactic,
at this
able
point.
to travel throughout the entire universe and consume the energy output of several, possibly all galaxies. Zoltan Galantai has defined a theoretical extension of the scale with a Type 4 civilization that is in the best place in the world that can control the energy of the whole visible world, possibly the dark matter. He may be able to travel to other universes or send information to them so that a Type 0 culture can develop, with a view to
And
developing
in Type
into a
5, you
1
control
culture.
the entire
Such
multiverse.
civilization is approaching or exceeding even the exotic limits of scientific imagination based on our current scientific knowledge, and may be impossible to exist. The scientist himself has agreed that such a civilization would not be detectable, as its actions would not differ from the very natural processes. The scientist Michio Kaku, in his book Parallel Worlds, has given an alternate definition to Type 4, thus naming the civilization that can control galactic energy sources such as the so-called dark energy. One possible way of fully collecting the energy from an astronomer is thought to be the Dyson sphere. The sphere is a hypothetical megastructure that encloses a star and accumulates the energy that the star emits. The concept of this construction was originally developed by the science fiction writer Olaf Stapleton in his novel Star Maker in 1937, while later the idea was promoted and became more widely known by the physicist Freeman Dyson in a study he carried out in 1960, entitled Search for Artificial Stellar Sources of Infrared Radiation. Dyson estimated that the existence of such structures would be the logical consequence of the growing needs of a technological culture for energy and the necessity of ensuring its long-term survival. He also suggested that the search for such structures could lead to the discovery of sophisticated and intelligent alien life forms. There could be different types of spheres, and their energy absorption capacity would correspond to the technological development levels of the Kardashev scale. The various types of
There's So we don't even have control of our own planet at this point. The first step is control of our own planet. We need to be able to control the weather, control the energy sources, use the energy sources that the planet is giving us, like wind, solar, geothermal, and control the planet. That'd be the first one. Step 2, use the power of the sun. Wouldn't the Dyson sphere, because the Dyson sphere, the whole thing was, to harness the power of the sun. Wouldn't that be a type 2, not a type 4? I'm not smart, so these guys probably know what they're talking about. That's probably type 4. But anyway, so use the power of the sun. Not just our sun, but all the planets orbiting around the sun have full control of all of that. And then type 3 is like intergalactic control of the whole universe. Oh, that's like, it's just an exponential graph of more and more consumption. Next thing you know, we're controlling the multiverse, all of the universes. What's past a multiverse? Who knows? Where does it end? Honestly, though, I do believe we are currently heading towards a more cyberpunk future. Corporate control, human human enhancements for the sake of work and pleasure. Yeah, we're definitely heading more towards a cyberpunk future than a intergalactic ideal future. I mean, we'll probably be intergalactic if even in a cyberpunk future, but the future is not the ideal that people are thinking of. We're gonna end up in a cyberpunk future, which honestly I don't have too much of a problem with. Cyberpunk future does seem kind of fun. I mean, not necessarily, but yeah, but no, but yeah.
of similar devices which aim to directly exploit stars and store their energy are called Dyson bullets, with some of these hypothetical proposals extending to the ability of inhabitation or developing an industry in these constructions. Most ideas are represented as a shell that surrounds a star, but there are also versions where the device is a ring or battery arrays. Experts claim that as a culture develops and becomes more advanced, its energy needs will increase rapidly due to the population growth and the energy requirements of its various machines. With this in mind, the Kardashev scale has been developed as a way of measuring the technological progress of a culture based on how much usable energy is at its disposal. Let's consider on a deeper level the transition from Type 0 to Type 1 civilization. Will we make it? As we mentioned before, we can't calculate and when we will attain Type 1, and the answer is in approximately 100 years. And we will be able to play with weather conditions, earthquakes, volcanoes, and anything planetary. But the period of transition from Type 0 to 1 culture is considered the most critical and dangerous in the scale, due to the fact that we have chemical biological weapons capable of wiping out life on Earth. Also, we have not developed sufficient collective intelligence, and the use of new powers can completely obliterate this culture before it completes the full transition to Type 1. Nuclear, biological, geophysical weapons of mass destruction, unchecked rise in the temperature of the planet, destruction of natural protective mechanisms such as magnetosphere, ozone layer, etc. Let's now see things from another point of view. There are some evidence that we are closer than we think to achieve Type 1. For instance, for human civilization on Earth, signs of transition to Type 1 civilization from Type 0 are considered to be the taming of nuclear energy, globalization efforts in technology, language, culture, the political system, successful earthquake prediction, and causing earthquakes. Also, something that consumes a lot of our time and energy: the internet. It's something that we all use in our daily lives, and it is a significant part of
Yeah,
us.
that's fair.
But for scientists, internet is something more than that. It is an important clue that we are in the beginning of Type 1. We will be privileged to be alive to witness the birth of Type 1. We will be part of making history and exploring new horizons that we have no idea that exist. What keeps us interesting and at the same time is fascinating in the Kardashev scale is the fact that what we see on TV series, well-known movies, can come true in the future. It is not only sci-fi, but a very serious scenario to happen. It is where imagination meets reality. And don't you
Yeah.
think it is something remarkable to notice? Now that we know about the Kardashev scale and we know for sure that we are reaching Type 1 with examples from our daily life, I think we can see our very daily routine with more gratitude. And it doesn't matter that we won't be able to reach the final point of the scale, as the fact itself that we have thought and dreamed of this to happen can fill us with joy. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, honestly, if you do think about it, what we really need is humanity to unite. Enough with these different countries, people taking control, we got to think about humanity. And I know a lot of people hate on Elon Musk, yada yada, a billionaire, blah blah blah, this that, but he is putting in the work for humanity. He is trying to get us to Mars. That would be a huge fucking feat. He's making fully electric cars, getting us off of the oil stuff that's destroying, our planet. He is, I don't know what it's called, but he's inventing a chip that can be implanted to your brain that lets you access the internet and shit with your fucking brain, and that's, people are afraid of it, but it's coming. It's coming whether you want it to or not. You might as well get used to it. Oh, but my privacy, dude. You have a cell phone that tracks your data and location that you carry around willingly in your fucking pocket. Why? You're 1 in 7, over 7 billion. Why is your why do you care so much about what the government knows about you? It's fucking whatever, dude. I'm ready for it. A unifying electronic currency. We're getting there with the bitcoins and shit. Facebook and all that, they're already getting started on the metaverse. It's not going to be the true metaverse yet, but it's a great first step in getting there. Advancement with virtual reality, with holograms, and we are making so much progress that people don't even realize because we're too busy fighting each other. Once we stop fighting amongst ourselves and realize what is going on with science in the world, we can unite together and speed up this fucking process. I'm so excited. I fucking love all this tech shit, space shit, cyberpunk aesthetic shit. I fucking love all of it. I'm ready for the future. I'm here for it. Anyway, guys, with that, be sure to check out this channel, Insane Curiosity. Leave a like, subscribe, all that. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing, any feedback, anything you think I would enjoy reacting to, anything. And with that, I'll see you later, crew.